What happens when someone who's lived a full life, raised a family, worked hard, sacrificed, gave so much to others, suddenly finds themselves completely alone? Not just alone in the room, I mean really alone. No one to call, no one to drop by and check in, no one even noticing if something's gone wrong. Imagine this. An elderly man wakes up, tries to get out of bed, and slips. He falls. No major injuries at first, but he can't get up. The phone, too far away. Hours pass, then a whole day. No one knocks, no one calls. The world just keeps moving. And he's still lying there. Now maybe you're thinking, that's heartbreaking but rare. But the truth is, it's not. This is real life for millions of older adults around the world. Many right in your neighborhood. People who once took care of everyone else now have no one looking after them. This isn't just about loneliness. This is about silent suffering, missed medications, dangerous falls, about fires left unattended, fridges with expired food, mental health declining, unnoticed. It's about dignity slowly being stripped away, one forgotten day at a time. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. But most people don't realize the risks until it's too late. That's why we're having this conversation today. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what happens when an elderly person has no caregiver. And more importantly, you'll learn 6 practical, life-changing ways to make living alone safer, healthier, and more hopeful. One of these solutions, most people never think of it. And yet it could be the difference between life and tragedy. So stay with me, especially if you care about your parents, grandparents, a neighbor, or even your own future. Because this isn't just their story, it might be yours one day too. And before we dive in, do me a small favor. If you believe every senior deserves safety and dignity in their later years, go ahead and comment, "I'm here" down below. Let's build a community that cares. And if this kind of content matters to you, hit subscribe to Wisdom of Longevity, where we talk real solutions for aging well, living fully, and never being forgotten. Let's begin with the most immediate and dangerous risk, falls. Because in the world of elderly care, one fall can change everything. Take Mrs. Thompson. She's 84, lived alone in the same house for over 30 years. One morning, she was reaching into a cabinet for her teacup, like she always did, and lost her balance. She fell hard onto the cold kitchen tile. Her phone? It was charging on the counter just a few feet away, but too far to reach. She lay there for 18 hours. No one called. No one came. By the time help arrived, she was dehydrated, disoriented, and barely responsive. She never returned home after that. Her independence gone in a single moment. Now here's the thing. As we age, our muscles weaken, reflexes slow, and balance becomes unpredictable. What would be a harmless slip for a younger person can become catastrophic for a senior. And when there's no one around to respond, that delay can mean the difference between recovery and permanent disability, or worse. A lot of families think, we've got grab bars in the bathroom, a walker, that should be enough. But safety tools mean little without an emergency plan or a way to call for help when seconds matter. So what can you do? Here's something simple but powerful. Invest in fall detection wearables, smart devices that automatically alert emergency services if a fall is detected. You can also install motion sensors in the home that notify a loved one if there's unusual inactivity. Because in situations like Mrs. Thompson's, time isn't just money, it's life. But physical danger is only part of the picture. Number 2, loneliness. John used to be the life of the party, friendly, active, a regular at his local church. But after his wife passed and his kids moved away, the house grew quiet, and so did John. At first, he stopped answering phone calls. Then he forgot birthdays, names, faces. Eventually, he barely spoke at all. Living alone with no one to talk to had turned his mind into a cage. Here's what we know from decades of research. Chronic loneliness is as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's linked to depression, cognitive decline, heart disease, and even early death. Yet people still say, he has a TV, maybe a pet. Isn't that enough? No, it isn't. TV doesn't respond. Pets can't hold conversations, and isolation isn't just about boredom. It physically changes the brain. It makes thinking slower, memory weaker, and motivation non-existent. So what can help? Start with scheduled video calls with family. Make it a routine, not an afterthought. Encourage joining virtual senior centers or support groups, even from home. Or better yet, arrange for a visiting companion, someone vetted, someone trained, someone who cares. Because human connection isn't a luxury, it's a survival need. Number 3, personal hygiene. Maria always took pride in her appearance, hair done, clothes neat, a spritz of perfume. But after she started living alone, things began to slip. The showers became less frequent, the laundry piled up, neighbors started noticing a smell, but they didn't say anything. By the time anyone intervened, she had developed a severe skin infection. It could have been prevented. See, aging doesn't just affect energy, it impacts memory, dexterity, and mobility. Basic hygiene, like bathing, brushing teeth, changing clothes, can feel like climbing a mountain. People often assume they're just not trying anymore. But in reality, they may be dealing with joint pain, arthritis, depression, or even early dementia. This isn't about laziness, it's about capacity. So here's what works. Create a simple daily hygiene checklist. Visual reminders can be powerful. And if that's not enough, consider hiring a weekly home aide. Not to take over, but to assist, encourage, and keep an eye on routines. Because when someone starts neglecting themselves, it's often a silent cry for help. But what about the things we all need every day, like food and medication? That's where the next risk begins, and the consequences can be just as devastating. Let's keep going. Number 4, medications and nutrition. There was an elderly man, lived alone, no kids nearby. For weeks he'd been taking his heart medication twice a day, instead of once. Why? Because he forgot he'd already taken it in the morning, so he'd take it again just to be safe. By the time someone figured it out, he was already in the emergency room with dizziness, shortness of breath, and dangerously low blood pressure. It wasn't neglect, it wasn't carelessness. It was just being alone. Aging affects memory. Even the sharpest minds start to slip, and without someone there to double-check, those little mix-ups, they can build up until they're irreversible. The same goes for food. Seniors may forget to eat, or they might eat only toast and crackers because cooking feels like too much. You might open their fridge and see expired yogurt, wilted vegetables, maybe some juice that's been there for a month. A lot of people say, just give them one of those pill boxes, Monday to Sunday. Done. But even that requires consistency, focus, and memory. And let's be honest, not everyone has that every single day. So what works better? Try smart pill dispensers that only open at the right time and sound an alarm if a dose is missed. Some even send alerts to family or caregivers. For meals, services like Meals on Wheels or senior-focused meal delivery can bring fresh, balanced food right to their door. No stove, no prep, no danger. Because nutrition and medicine aren't just routine, they're survival. But even if you manage food and meds perfectly, there's another danger waiting silently in the background. Number 5, the home itself. One woman, living alone for years, forgot she had the stove on. She dozed off in her recliner after lunch. The pan burned. Smoke started filling the kitchen. And her smoke alarm? No batteries. By the time neighbors smelled something, it was too late. Tragedies like this don't happen because someone is careless. They happen because of slower reflexes, weaker senses, and forgotten tasks. Many seniors can't smell gas leaks. They can't hear subtle electrical buzzing. And they may not even remember lighting the stove. But families often say, it hasn't happened before. She's always been careful. They assume past safety guarantees future safety. It doesn't. That's why smart home technology is no longer optional. Install automatic shutoff valves on stoves and ovens. Upgrade to smoke and carbon monoxide detectors that send alerts to your phone. Use voice-activated assistants that can call for help, even if the person can't get to the phone. It's not about replacing care. It's about giving peace of mind when no one is physically there. And that brings us to the final point, the most human one: purpose. George lost his wife 5 years ago. They'd been married for over 4 decades. When she was gone, so was his reason to get out of bed. At first, he said he was just tired. Then he stopped going out. Then he stopped cooking. Then he stopped showering. Each day started to feel like the last. No goals, no tasks, just silence. Here's what many don't realize. When someone loses their purpose, their health follows. Emotionally, mentally, even physically. The body thrives on routine. Waking up at the same time, doing something meaningful, feeling needed. Without it, depression creeps in, health declines, and sometimes people just give up. And it's easy to assume they're retired, they deserve to relax. But relaxation without engagement isn't peaceful. It's lonely, it's dull, and it's dangerous. So what can help? Encourage simple daily rituals. Maybe it's watering the plants each morning. Maybe it's writing in a journal. Maybe it's volunteering at the local library or mentoring young people in their old profession. Even something small, like a hobby or a part-time gig, can give a sense of direction. Because at the end of the day, every person, no matter their age, needs a reason to wake up, a reason to smile, a reason to care. And that's something no device, no program, no medication can fully replace. So now that we've explored the hidden dangers, let's talk about the emotional weight of it all and what you can do starting today. Watching someone you love slowly fade, not because of illness, not because of age, but because they're alone. That's one of the hardest things you'll ever witness. You see them change. Little things at first. They don't answer your texts right away. They seem forgetful. They stop laughing like they used to. And if you're the one who's aging alone, it can feel like the world has moved on without you. Like you're no longer needed, no longer seen, no longer remembered. But here's something that needs to be said. It doesn't have to be this way. Loneliness isn't destiny. Neglect isn't inevitable. And fading into the background? That's not what growing older should mean. Because awareness is power. And action? Action is love in motion. You can be that action. It doesn't take grand gestures or big budgets. It starts with something as small as a phone call, a check-in, a "Hey, I was just thinking about you. How are you doing today?" And if you're the one living alone, know this: you deserve support, connection, and safety. You deserve to feel like you matter, because you do. And it's never too late to build a safer, more connected life. Start with one small change. Set up fall detection. Join a group, even virtually. Make a list of things you love and find a way to bring one of them back into your day. Because sometimes just one change can change everything. Let's quickly go over the most important points we've talked about today. When an elderly person lives alone without care or connection, they face 6 major risks. 1. Falls. That can leave them helpless for hours or even days. 2. Loneliness, which affects not just the heart, but the brain and body too. 3. Neglected hygiene, which can lead to serious infections and social isolation. 4. Missed medications and malnutrition, which often go unnoticed until it's too late. 5. Home hazards, like fires, gas leaks, or forgotten appliances. 6. Loss of purpose, which can quietly pull someone into depression and decline. But for each of these risks, we shared simple, powerful solutions. Smart devices, daily routines, community connections, and proactive planning. Small steps that can protect a whole life. And now I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone close to you faced one of these challenges? What helped? What didn't? Share your experience in the comments below. Whether it's a personal story, a tip, or just a message of encouragement, I read every single one. And you never know who your words might help. If you found any part of this video helpful, please tap like. It helps more people find this message. And if you believe every senior deserves to age with dignity, support, and peace, subscribe to Wisdom of Longevity. This is where we talk honestly, compassionately, and practically about what it really means to age well. We're in this together. Thank you for spending this time with me. It means more than you know. Until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and most of all, take care of each other. I'll see you in the next video.